Julia Lyons will email both of you as to what the solution will be. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
I have one question.
What?
It doesn't seem to be connecting to the computer, and I don't see where there's like this toggle switch to change it over from laptop to.
Oh, I'm not the one that does.
No, I'm sorry.
I just use my own computer.
I don't know if we've met before.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I think there's something to do with this. There we go. Hopefully that will do it. If not, I will find someone that can.
Thank you so much. Different systems in each room.
My technology knowledge at the moment is really getting worse by the moment. Okay. Okay.
Oh, no, that's okay. Why is it? Choose this couple TV. Sorry, guys. I have no clue what I'm doing. Never seen one of this. Do people have their like electronic devices with them at all?
Yes. Like my laptop, I have a laptop.
Yeah, like a laptop, a cell phone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still. Oh wait, I think I might have gotten it. Oh, sweet, I got it. Cool. Never mind, you guys don't need to do that to this. You're good. You can use your devices in my class, by the way. So if you like to take notes on them or anything like that. Even like if you just want to like use your cell phone to fact check you while I speak, I'm really cool with that. Google's amazing, right? So yeah, I'm Dr. Nicholas Howman. I am a professor of sociology. I also teach some criminology classes here. Can people hear me well enough?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like beta test talking through the mask without the microphone today and see if it picks up on the recorder. If you guys noticed that, we have students who are quarantined in our class. We have students who will not join us this semester at all because they're on medical exemption. So that recording will allow them to see what we do in here on a day-to-day basis. So how's everyone's day going for a first day so far? You all feeling good?
Yeah.
Still happy to be in person?
Yeah.
Awesome. Me too. Did anyone else feel like they didn't talk to anybody for months? It was just like forever, just like sheltering at home. Sorry for the wait with switching classrooms. Took a little while longer. Hello. I don't think they use the same key though. You all know, so how many of you are feeling comfortable with Blackboard so far? Ish, wonderful. That's okay if you're not. So I'm going to quick show you guys what you're going to have to be able to do, because this is also going to show you how to get to your syllabus. So on my page, every professor will do this differently. On mine, when you pull it up, if you just go over to content, everything is in content. I don't have anything posted anyplace else. So first, you'll see the syllabus is right here. This is where I post assignments. So these are assignment pages. Most of these aren't due for a long time. This is where you'll go for your readings. Did anybody notice that there's no textbook for this course? It's because everything is an article and it's all posted right up here. So you just download it and read it. I print things off because I'm old school, and for some reason if I read something on a computer I don't read it very well. That's just because I'm old enough that that's true. With you guys I'm guessing that's probably not true, and you'll probably just read it on something else. But because printing gets expensive. Okay, syllabus. Finding. Okay, so obviously you know this information because you showed up today. And obviously this will change since we're in a different room now. Okay, so there's my name, I already told you that. By the way, you can refer to me to anything you want, really. I don't really care. So if you like things to be informal, you can even call me Nick if you want. That's what my friends would call me. I actually grew up most of my life being called Nicky or Little Nicky, which is because I am significantly taller than my siblings, and I stopped growing when I was 11. So, you know, you think about it, I was a big 11-year-old, so it was an ironic nickname for a long time until I moved out of my hometown. Okay, so this is my phone extension. I'm going to make this change after the fact. I'm going to put my cell phone number in here. That's so that you can contact me a little more easily with everything that's going on. So, so some students, like especially if you end up going on quarantine, you may want to FaceTime with me and talk about stuff, or you might want to text and schedule a time to talk on the phone to get more details. And it's totally cool. It'll just make it a little easier for all of us if you guys have my cell phone. Never used to do that. Office hours. I'm doing this to be announced. We're not supposed to have students in our offices. So that means that I'm not going to hold like a normal office hour. I usually do kind of like an open door policy. If I'm on campus, you're welcome. Because I'm usually a couple days ahead on prep, so it's not a big deal if you come in and, you know, we hang out and chat and figure things out. So that's usually what I do. If you would like to meet though, going back to like you can text me or you can email me and we'll schedule the time. The night meeting can either be on the phone or we can, you know, go up to the tree here, stand 10 feet away. I say tree because it's shady. And, you know, until it gets cold, I guess, and then we just meet in the middle of the parking lot, 10 feet apart. We can actually like pull our masks down and see each other's face that way. So this is where my office is. If you have like a form or something to drop off to me, you can leave it in my mailbox at that door. It's right over here at Grace Seaberg. Okay, so sociology. What guiding questions, what are we trying to discover in this class? So there's three things that we're generally trying to figure out. So we're trying to figure out what is sociology. So then you should walk away here, because I'm guessing how many people feel real confident in their knowledge of what sociology is? Yeah, that's usually the answer, right? Like, you don't usually take high school classes on sociology. A lot of people sign up for it without having heard of it before. So we're gonna, through the course of the semester, definitely get an understanding of what it is. We're gonna get an understanding of the type of things that sociologists study. There's gonna be a ton of different topical things you're gonna cover in this class. We're gonna talk about race, we're gonna talk about crime, we're gonna talk about poverty, we're gonna talk about all kinds of different things. So, how you interact with people, all these things, are areas of sociology. So what are the different types? Why is it that within the same discipline we're looking at all these different things? And then in particular, we're going to ask, what can sociologists tell us about what's going on in the world today? Sociology is specifically a discipline that aims towards understanding what's happening right now. So in a lot of ways, sociology is very similar to history. If you guys take history, or thinking about the context of things that happened in the past. Really what sociology ends up being is it ends up being thinking about the context of what's happening in the present. So if you think of it that way, so we're going to particularly be focused often on what is going on today. This is one of the reasons why for our readings, they're basically going to be scholarly journal articles. Part of the reason is it's a snapshot of today, right? It's what sociologists are looking at right now, how they're using the concepts that we use in sociology, how they're using the methods that we use to come up with an understanding of what's going on. Sorry, catching my breath. Okay, so that's the rest of this stuff you can kind of peruse on your own. Most of it is just things that the Higher Learning Commission requires I put on my syllabus. Like I said, the course text is available online. I do require that everybody download the free copy of Word, Microsoft Word that the college provides. The reason why, there's a couple reasons. One, otherwise everything gets turned in digitally with me. So everything gets turned in via Blackboard. It'll be the same for every assignment. But the difficulty is this. A lot of you are, if you're not using Word, will use a bunch of different word processors, some of which are not compatible with entire operating systems. So you might turn something in that's not going to work with any computer that is not an Apple. I get that a lot, right? So it sort of makes it uniform and smooth, and I don't have to write you and be like, hey, I didn't get that, turn it into me again, and we do that 4 or 5 times until it finally comes in a format I can open. The other reason is that Microsoft Word is the only universally accepted word processor. And even you use something like Google Docs, it's very likely if you give somebody a document in that, it's going to reformat it, it's going to look completely different. So it's just good to get into the habit of using Word for professional life, because in the government, you use Word. At most companies, you use Word. At most colleges, you use Word. I used to be a journal editor, you had to use Word. It's very normal. Okay. Recommendations for student success. Don't be afraid to communicate with me and show up and give it your all. It's kind of my recommendation. That's basically what this paragraph says. So anyways, I kind of think of college courses as video games. So like a video game is structured for you to win it, right? You just have to actually play it through to win it. And that's kind of the same thing. Like if this isn't like, I'm not trying to like pull punches and like confuse you all. Like I'm trying to make everything as clear and clean as possible so that you can do well. So point being is this, is it's set up to win. I want you to do well. If you do all the assignments and you turn it in and you show up and you do all the readings, you will do well in this course. But you have to play to win. Attendance policy. Actually, this is supposed to be changed. I thought I must have not uploaded the new version. That makes sense why the cell phone is not up. I'll fix that. Okay, the new attendance policy, which is actually very similar to my old attendance policy, is showing up is good. If you can't show up, it's okay. So basically, like, I want you here. You'll get more out of the course. You'll do better and be more successful in the course if you're here. But obviously, not everybody can be here. I have never wanted any sick person in my class in the history of me being a professor, which is surprisingly about 10 years now. I've been teaching for 10 years, not a professor. But yeah, stay home if you're sick. Like, you know, there's that. And then also, like, currently, like, you might have to quarantine, all that other stuff. Like I said, we already have several, I think we have 5 or 6 students already out of this class. So yeah, we'll definitely, you can definitely not show up for very good reasons. Also, personal reasons, just let me know. You know, if you're having a crisis, let me know. I don't take attendance, well, I do take attendance, but I don't count attendance for points. It doesn't count against you. But with that said, regular attendance, I think, is you know, if you go back up to the recommendations for student success, regular attendance is a big one. Okay, and that can be attendance in different forms too. So like if you are having to be back home and you are quarantining, don't think that that means that you're not attending. If you're watching the videos and you're communicating with me, that's also attending. Okay, academic honesty. You guys have probably heard the academic honesty policy of the college quite a few times today. If not, most of your professors will repeat that to you. I'm gonna not. Don't cheat. I will say one thing though. You get, I rarely caught examples of people just flat out cheating. I did once. I caught a student reading off of Google for a presentation, reading off of Wikipedia, which I thought was really funny. Because I'm like, hey, that kid didn't write this. And I just started typing it into my laptop, and lo and behold, that was true. Anyways, most of cheating is not like that. Most of the time when I've caught plagiarism, it's accidental plagiarism. So the call for that is just to be careful with how you use sources. Quoting is using somebody's words. It's fine as long as you cite it, put quotation marks around it, and it's not plagiarism. But if you're looking over a document and you make sure you don't start repeating word for word and start typing it in, because a lot of people will end up doing that. It's like maybe they copied and pasted something in with the idea of rewording it, and then they just forgot. Like there's a lot of that sort of accidental stuff. So be wary of that, because there are ramifications, right? If you look at that policy, like I have to kind of like penalize you in some fashion if that happens. Usually I will simply give people a 0 for the assignment. But nonetheless, it's be careful of that. Okay, questions and concerns. Like I said, I'm always open. Oh, disability. If you have a disability or you have special needs, you need to contact the director of disabilities. I can't make special accommodations unless you've gone through those channels. I do want to make accommodations. I'm happy to make them. But that's how accommodations happen. So, questions or concerns? If you have any questions at any time, email me, contact me, talk to me. I wish I could say just stop by my office, but I can't. Okay, grading. The part that you guys are probably thinking about and wondering about through the rest of the syllabus. Okay, so there's going to be 4 take-home examinations. They're essays. You write them at home. You'll have weeks to do them. You usually try to give a few weeks in advance. You can use your sources. You can use your class notes. You can use the posted videos that we're going to do. Everything's fair game. And it's not going to be like some extremely difficult thing. It's going to be something we've already talked about. So it's just basically going to be you applying, like writing in a little more in depth things that we've already explored. So that's going to be one. We're going to have 4 of them. They're not overly long. I used to just do 2 of them, but then I broke them in half. Okay, you will have, this is something new that I'm doing this semester. You're going to have 13 discussion posts So each week you guys are gonna post basically just a short thing about things that we've read. So there's gonna be 2 articles for you to read each week. And then Sunday night is when it'll be due. It's not when you have to do it. You can do it any time throughout the week as you're reading. But you're gonna give me 2 to 3 sentences on each of the readings. Now, notice 2 to 3 sentences is not a lot of writing, right? It's a very minimal amount of writing the word. So I'm not looking for you to fully summarize the article. Instead, the idea is that this causes you, when you're reading, to be thinking about things like, what are things I want to discuss from this? What are things that I'm confused about it with, that I would like to know more about? You know, what are, those sort of questions. And if you just want to write them out as those kinds of questions, you can give me 3 sentences that are literally a handful of questions you have on each, right? But it'll have to be 3 sentences for, 2 to 3 sentences for one article, 2 to 3 sentences for the next. Does that make sense? And there's an assignment for it on the assignment folder. So if you go back here, go to content, go to assignments, right there's the discussion board assignment. And so 11:59 Sunday night is when you'll have to have it done by. I don't know why that
Download it on the bottom.
Ah, there we go. There's your assignment. So yeah. This is the first time I've done that, so this will be kind of a beta test of it. Feedback from you guys as you move along if you're finding it helpful and useful. I used to do pop quizzes just to ensure that people read, but it felt a little more punitive rather than like, if you didn't read, you showed up, I'm gonna get you, which I don't really like that feeling of like, that's like that way of grading to me seems counterproductive. So I switched to this after, the spring we went online and I started using discussion boards and I was like, I could use this in a regular class too. Okay, other than that, we're gonna have kind of one bigger assignment that's broken up into several pieces. This is gonna be your research paper, your term paper. So we'll take that in pieces. So I'll talk about that in more detail later. You're gonna start with just a paragraph about it. That's what an abstract is. And then we're gonna have you go do some research about what you wanna look into. And really, this can be anything as long as it's connectable to the class in some way. So, this is really just a chance for you to research a topic you're interested in more in detail on your own, and then bring your findings back to all of us. So at the end, you're gonna do a presentation of it before everybody else. So. And for those of you who are home audience people, we will figure out something in lieu of the presentation. We'll figure out a way. I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do it. So, you can also provide feedback for that. Sorry. Every once in a while, I'm just going to holler at people who aren't here. I may also, if you say something quiet enough, because I do mostly classroom discussion. That's kind of why I wanted you guys doing the discussion board thing first. I may this semester also have to randomly reiterate quieter people. We'll see how that goes. It's all an experiment. But it always is. So you're going to have this feeling like your professors are experimenting on you. But I've never taught a class that didn't feel like I was just experimenting with how to teach it. So, yeah, that's a pretty normal thing. Okay, late assignment policy. So I developed this mostly as a way of helping people who are procrastinators. I'm not going to ask who is procrastinator in the room. But basically, what I found is that when people procrastinated, they had a tendency to turn something in that wasn't finished all the time, right? Which often hurt them a lot point-wise. If you turn in, if it's if I'm asking you for, 4 questions on a take-home and you give me 2 questions back, that's 50%, So what I did is, rather than having like some sort of like gradated penalty or anything like that, like what I've done is I just have 1 penalty if you turn it in late. It's 30% of your grade. That's a pretty good encouragement to turn things in on time, right? But if you need more time to work on something after that, I don't start docking you more the longer you take. So if you find out, if you all of a sudden sit down to write an assignment the hour before it's due and go, oh crap, I can't finish this, don't. Take your time, do it right. You can still get a B- on it without, if you take your time. So that's what I've come up with. So yeah, that'll be your, that's how they call it. Any questions so far on the structure of the class? Yeah.
How do we turn in the discussions? Is it through Blackboard, or do we email you?
It's through Blackboard. So yeah, I'll show you. A good question. Okay. So if you go back to, so rather than in content, this is the only exception. This is in discussions. This is what discussion board means. So actually, anytime somebody starts talking about discussion boards, which you're probably going to get a lot of that this semester, less as we go on in your degree. This is where you post it. So it looks a little bit different on your end once you click on it, but essentially what we look like, that's our first week, right? And it corresponds to the topics. So if you look here, next week we're going to be talking about culture. And if you look over here, there is one that says culture. So under that, you're going to give me those sentences about those 2 meetings. And you just post, you don't have to comment to anybody else's, just post it, and then you're good and clear for the week. I'm doing that pass-fail too, so it's I'm not penalizing you or really criticizing your content. It's more for you to, if you want to think of it as journaling, it's more like that. I'm going to look to see whether you put the work into it, but I'm not going to actually penalize you or, oh, that was an inaccurate comment about that article. They don't get any points or whatever, right? That's simply a way of formulating your thoughts. So that's where you post it. Other questions? Thoughts? Is that all clear, or did I confuse everybody?
So we do have 2 articles and some discussions to turn in on this Sunday,
yes.
Right? Okay.
Yep. So that will be, if you look here, it's Green's Who's Riot and Humbrace. How else would you take a photo? So, look.
Do we start that next week, or do we start that today? The culture.
Culture will be next Monday. So yeah, for Friday, we're gonna talk about 1, what is sociology, and then 2, I'm gonna cover some of the basic things you're likely to come across, so that as you move through the articles, it'll make more sense that way. And then yeah, so on the syllabus, yeah, this will be, so that'll be due on the 23rd. Is when you'll have to turn in your discussion boards. And all the assignments, so all the discussion boards are due on Sunday. All the assignments are due on Friday, right? So, and it's always 11:59.
So we want to turn in the discussions before we start the week, so that when we have some.
Exactly. Yeah. That way you're all prepped and ready to go, and you get busy in your classes. You don't just because I was a student for a long time. Longer than most of you will probably be students. And life gets away from you. So yeah, it's just a way of making sure that you're ready to go at the beginning of the week. So. That way I don't have to do all the talk. Okay. Any other questions? Cool. So let's start doing introductions. We probably won't get through everybody, but we'll start. I feel like now I have this bag of goodies. When we go to introduce ourselves, let's do name. It's always good to know somebody's name. Let's do your class standing. Sorry, freshmen, I know it's obvious visually, so I guess if you're wearing a beanie, you can skip your class standing. I would like to know your hometown and other places you lived. It's one of those things that really helps me to remember people, and like give me like the location, because like I've traveled a fair amount within the country and somewhat outside of it as well. That like, you know, it helps to visualize where people are from. And then I like it if we all tell stories of some kind. My last class, they volunteered to do the times they got into trouble. So like anybody have any ideas for stories they might want to hear? People's stories of something. Family stories, pet stories, animal stories.
Awkward moments.
Awkward moments.
That's great.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. And as always, keep the stories PC enough, and you know you can flirt with vulgarity, but probably not too vulgar. Nothing incriminating of yourself, you know, things like that. So, okay, do you guys want a few minutes to think of your stories?
Yes.
Okay. Once again, for those of you who don't introduce yourself this time, I'll expect you to do it later. Yeah. And that doesn't. Yeah. So I mean, I'm probably good.
And my name is I usually just introduce myself to my questions on the first day.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Okay, people ready with their stories?
Oh, I have awkward moments.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead. You can start if you like, Claire.
Okay, so my name is Claire. I'm obviously a
Full
freshman.
name, if you don't mind.
Oh, Claire Edmondson. Hello. And so I'm a freshman, and I'm from Denver, Colorado. But I'm really from Arvada, but I just say Denver because everyone knows what Denver, Colorado is. And then awkward moment. Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm just an awkward person in general. So I have a lot. But one that stood out to me was the time that my family went on a road trip, and I fell asleep in the car, and I somehow managed to like tangle myself in the seatbelt. And so we arrived at our family friend's house, and I tried to get out, and I couldn't, and it like took like an hour for them to like untangle me, and it was really awkward, and like we hadn't seen them in a while, so that was my awkward moment. We eventually got out, so it's all good. So yeah.
Oh, my next. Okay. My name is Taylor Vanberg. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And, oh boy. Okay, this isn't as awkward as it was just embarrassing for me, but I got into this like car fire a couple summers ago, like 2 summers ago. And I was coming from work, and I work at Ben & Jerry's, so I was like covered in ice cream, and I was just in my dorky little shirt on the side of the road with my car on fire, and I had no idea what to do, and people are passing me because it was rush hour traffic. And I just had never felt more stupid. And that was it. And like I called 911, but it took them a while to get there. And yeah, you're just like, you're totally helpless. So it's just all eyes on you, your car's on fire, and you have no idea what to do. That was great. So.
I'm Kelsey Benedict. I'm from Owasso, Oklahoma. It's near Tulsa. Awkward moment, when I was a junior in high school, one of my classmates, like, the entire year was talking to me and everything, and then he finally said that he didn't know I went to the school, and that, he thought I was a foreign exchange student, like, the entire year. Yeah. So.
Okay, hi, I'm Jamie Fector. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. An awkward time, this was in grade school, but I'll just say it anyway. I was like running up the stairs by myself at school, and I tripped, and I ended up breaking my foot, but no one was there to help me, and I couldn't walk. And I was like yelling for someone, but no one was there. So I had to crawl to the office, like the main office, and then they had to like get me to the doctor.
Oh my
Ow.
Hey, my name is Sophie Colas. I'm from River Falls, Wisconsin, but that's like near the Twin Cities. An awkward moment for me, I was a swimmer in high school, and one time during my event, the blocks were like super slippery, and I totally fell off the blocks before my head, and I lost the race because of it, so that's pretty awkward.
Wait, what was your name again?
Sophie.
Sophie.
Colas.
I don't usually do this to her again. How do you spell that?
K-O-L-A-S.
Either end.
I'm Georgine Irving, and I'm from Northern Virginia, like outside of Washington, D.C. My story's not super awkward, it's kind of like embarrassing. This happened a couple of days ago, like just after getting here, I lost my key. No, it fell into an auditorium chair because I was playing around with it. And it's still in there, I haven't gotten it out, but I had to hang out with a security guy for like an hour in there, so I tried to get it out. And he was kind of like, how the heck did this happen? And I was like, I really couldn't tell you. But it's still there, it's in 114, chair of things, let me know.
I'm Levi Strite. I'm a freshman. My hometown, I'm from Wichita, Kansas, so just like 3 hours south of here. And my awkward moment, I walked into the wrong class this morning, my first class, college. I walked up, it was in the Amino building, just right over there. And there's a guy standing outside, and he said, what class are you in? I said, Gen Bio 1. And he said, first door on your left. So I walked in, first door on my left was the men's bathroom. And then so I went to the next door on my left, which was the classroom. I was like, okay, this is it. And my bio teacher was also my bio, so I had met him the day before, so yesterday. And I walked in and it wasn't him. I was like, oh, he'll just walk in later. So I went to the very top corner, and then I had to leave during roll call because my name wasn't on roll call.
I used to always have dreams when I was an undergrad that I was showing up to the wrong class for like months. And like, didn't realize it.
Well, then it was in my head all day today that I was going to be in the wrong spot, but I was good.
Okay, my name is Kevin DeMolpier. I'm from Covington, Georgia, which is an hour outside of Atlanta. And an awkward moment that has to do with like me being in this school. Last year I was visiting my older brother who goes here, and I locked him out of his room twice on accident. I leaving his key, and it was fine the first time, but the second time was really awkward because I had to call him and say I locked you out again.
And that was Kevin.
Oh, Kegan with the G.
Oh, Kegan.
Yes.
What was the last name again?
DeMolpier.
DeMolpier. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think I have one of your brothers in one of my classes.
Oh, really?
Or a relative, maybe not. That's the same last name.
Yeah, it's my brother.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Either one, guys.
I'm Will Krasowski. I'm a sophomore, and I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. And my awkward moment was probably earlier this summer once lockdown had ended, and my entire family decided to go to an outdoor restaurant. And I was the only one who was under 21, so I couldn't drink, but everybody else got absolutely plastered and started yelling really loud about politics. And all I could do was just sit and want to disappear.
I'm Franco Monaco. I'm from like Elgin, Illinois. It's like a half hour to 45 minutes away from Chicago. So if anybody that's from the Midwest, you know like Culver's, like the restaurant. Yeah. So I worked there for 2 years, and one time, like the founder of it, Craig Culver, came to our location, and I brought him his food. He was like eating or whatever, and then I told a joke, and then he started choking on his food. So I had to like go run and grab the manager and like get water, and like he had to like cough his food up. So I almost killed Craig Culver.
That's good. That's really good. Can you repeat your name one more time? Sorry.
Franco Monaco.
Oh, Franco.
Yeah. Franco.
Oh, you're not on the list. Okay. You'll contact your advisor.
Maybe I'm in the wrong sociology. This is my awkward moment.
Don't worry about it. Just, yeah, get it figured out.
I'm Amber Mascareñas. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, but I live in the Philippines, and I also live in Northern Virginia. So, yeah, I don't really have that many awkward moments. It's have crazy lives. I'm a really bad driver. It's awkward when people are like in the car with me, and I'm like, oop, that's a curb, sorry, didn't see it. But,
This is just gonna be like my running theme. What was your name again?
oh, it was Amber Mascareñas.
Oh.
Oh, I'm a sophomore.
Oh, right there. I think we've met before, actually.
Yeah, we went to Iowa for the caucuses.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the second time.
I knew. I was like, was she in one of my classes before?
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, totally.
Okay, so my name is Madeline Zolan. I'm from Denver, Colorado, Littleton. And my awkward moment, I'd say freshman year of high school, the bathrooms on the floors switched. So like one floor is women's, men's, and the next floor is men's and women's. So I walked into the men's bathroom and like people were going to the bathroom and I was like, this is awkward. When I walked out, but yeah, it's probably my awkward moment.
My name is Isabel Pearson. I am a freshman. I'm from Southern New Hampshire. So my awkward moment, this happened like not that long ago, maybe a couple months ago. I hate driving, but anyway, I was running late for like an appointment, and I was like backing up the car. My dad was outside doing yard work, and I backed into the garage door and like dented it. Oh my gosh, my dad was so mad. It was so awkward. Yeah.
So we have to end a couple. No, I don't think anybody's in here after. Yeah, I should probably, just in case. We're gonna end there. You guys will have to introduce yourselves Friday. But I'm gonna need your names real quick.
Okay.
So if you want to just like maybe come up with a shield, I don't know. I look forward to meeting all you guys
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was really bummed when I saw the PSU's.
Oh, that's my room.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I also have.
Got the whole truck.
Yeah.
Day was a good shot. I have this, so that either that or the other thing, whatever. And I'm kind of loud, so.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm Lydia Sutwell.
Cool. There we go. Thank you guys.
See ya.
See ya.
How is
Hello.
it?
Good, good. They're probably gonna switch me to a different room though, so.
Okay, well, they have that's very nice.
Yeah, the screen.
Hmm.
But I think they have a nursing class that conflicts with the schedule, so they can't put us in.
Yeah.
So.
Okay,
Did she email you yet, or did you
I
check
don't
it?
know.
Yeah, I
I
haven't
don't
checked
know.
it either.
Okay.
Sorry for the confuddle.
No, you are fine. So that's what we do, right? We just disinfect
I believe so, yeah.
area, but we don't have to wipe it.
I'm not sure.
My understanding is that we spray and then hypothetically you will be there for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what it seems to say on here,
When
so.
students comes in, they will wipe it off.
I got gloves, because the wordings are really creepy. So I just bought some at the hardware store. I figured that'll keep me from getting any chemical
It's a very
burns.
good idea, yes. Considering that we are doing this multiple times every day.
Yeah, I know. And I kind of felt like, I might have been being paranoid, but I felt like I was getting some discoloration on my knuckles after
Ooh.
using it. So,
Ooh.
so yeah, I'm being like doubly careful now.
But I think that's a very good idea.
Yeah, I actually went and picked them up in between because I was getting paranoid after reading the warning label. So,
I will get one, I will do that as well. Okay. Yeah,
Nice interacting with you today.
yeah. Successful first day of class?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because you get in here and you start doing your stuff and it feels like normal, even though everyone's wearing a mask. Like, it just kind of melts away a little bit. I feel more anxious in between than I think I do during. So
I was very anxious yesterday because I was imagining what things can go really wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but looks like it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but like, if you start running through variables, like, you'll get yourself in a spin. But that's kind of, I think, for everybody in every profession right now. It's just living in a pandemic is weird.
Yes. Yeah, but I have heard on the news there are a couple, like Michigan. Is that University of Michigan or Michigan State? I cannot recall. A University of Michigan, they already suspend in-person teaching. Yesterday it was on the Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill, and then I don't know.
Which, I mean, those are, one thing about doing it here is our cases countywide are really low. Especially compared to Michigan. Michigan was one of the big states. My family's from there.
Oh,
at least 7 of my family members, extended family members, have gotten that. And so like, same with like, I think Chapel Hill, that's down in North Carolina, that's,
Yes.
I think they opened up early and did all that as well. So I think it's just, I think here we might be able to swing it. I mean, it's a bit of a risk, but I think it might work.
It's residential, and then I feel we are doing whatever possible, whatever we can do.
Yeah.
To not to spread the virus.
Yeah. It feels like everybody's pulling together, and the students too. Like the students seem like sometimes you got to remind them here or there to stand a little further apart and stuff. But it seems like they're on board. Like they don't seem upset about it, other than it being irritating for everybody, So that was my feeling.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm feeling better than yesterday. Yesterday I was just probably imagined anxiety. But today it looks like it could work.
Yeah.
And I think in-person teaching, I like in-person teaching and distance learning.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll see.
Well, I think everybody does. Otherwise, they wouldn't be at this institution.
Here, yeah, true.
So,
okay. Yep.
Nice seeing you, Eva.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Did it again.